Hello, hello, darlings. Just a little bit of a time to set up. I'm using Zoom technology. Good evening, darlings. I know this is the late live stream. You know, when the mission calls you, you say yes. It's a late live stream. And I'm just finishing setup while you guys logging in. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Let me see. If you see me looking down, it's because I'm checking your comments to stay engaged with you. Hi, you guys. Where are we going to go tonight? Where are we going to go tonight? The full moon illuminates my soul. And my intention is to share with you some advanced perspectives in its divine simplicity. Advance doesn't have to feel complex, right, you guys? Advance means progressive into remembrance of who we truly are. You see, I am always experimenting. You know, it's a different group that is being magnetized at the late hour than in the morning. Do you guys want to say hello to Gracie? This is Gracie. While everybody's joining. Okay, so here she is. Yes, darling. So tomorrow, the full moon and the eclipse, I highly recommend to give yourself this day as in much of solitude, nature immersion, and contemplation. That's why tomorrow you're not going to see me online, you're not going to see me on video online for sure. I may post something, but it's not going to be video. That's why I felt inspired. I'm like, I'm going to go live tonight. And then here we are. Welcome, you guys. Welcome. We're going to travel galactic today. Are you ready for galactic transmission? Whatever life will support, that's where we're going to go. But for tomorrow, you guys, I encourage you, there will be a great seduction to be online, right? It's like, you'll be like seduced to be online. And I encourage you to read, journal, meditate, chant, contemplate, script your version 2.0 life tomorrow. When you get up in the morning, you know, and write, imagine if you've done the exercise, what would your life look like from a 2.0 version? If you've done it, but you haven't done it in a while, a great opportunity to rewrite. When you write it, especially with your hand, you are giving direct instructions to your subconscious mind of the precision of your preference. All right? Yeah. Okay, you guys, you're gonna do that. That's very simple, right? But it's powerful. You do it once, you do it second time. You notice that your desires change, your priorities change through different chapters of your life. So it's really good to get even more clear. Welcome, you guys. Welcome. Quite a lot of yeah, once again, if you see me looking down, I'm checking your comments to stay connected with you guys. So I have a little bit of tremblance. I'm feeling a little bit of it's not nervousness, it's excitement. Whenever I feel I'm bringing more of a out of the box topic, right? And you guys are an advanced group. I tend to attract advanced beings. I have a feeling you will resonate with that. But one of the things I wanted to share with you guys today is this understanding that, yes, we're entering the Leo season, right? The Leo season is here, and we have 2 more eclipses to go. And Leo, what does Leo stand for? Sovereignty, right? So you guys, in the horoscope, I'm a double Leo. So the whole life lesson of sovereignty has been my path, right? And sovereignty, from my perspective, is being able to create your own economy, right? Really master your gifts. So your gifts create impact and transformation for you, right? And it's a mastery of your domain. That's how I understand sovereignty. Being a generating entity in a way, seeing yourself as a co-creator of your reality, as a generator of your reality. So the number one aspiration and the vision that I hold is to support people in establishing energetic sovereignty first. If that is like foundation, it's the base. And it's one of the reasons I stopped coaching people on business and helping people build businesses, because I saw a huge misalignment when there is lacking of energetic base, so there is a lacking of deep inner core, right? Alignment on energy level. I can give somebody the most incredible strategy, the most incredible tactic, but if there is no inner alignment, it's just not gonna work. It's not gonna propel somebody forward. So I switched all my focus and all my energy in supporting people developing energy mastery, right, you guys? Yes, Mandy says, I am the God sovereign. Here you are, you guys, here you are. So we're gonna go a little bit galactic together today. And how do you develop any understanding? Through a ton of experience, right, you guys? So my oversoul, my higher self in its divine wisdom, set up the perfect conditions when I incarnated in this reality, right? My life was nothing even close to being empowered when I started my journey, right? And some of you know my story. Some people who don't know me may look at me and say, oh, this woman, everything was given to her on a silver platter. Very easy to make that judgment, you guys. Very, very easy. Simply by how I look, simply by how I present myself, simply by how I talk right now, right? People see only this snapshot of reality. And if some of you who've been following my work for some time, you guys know the journey, right? I grew up in the Soviet Russia, literally in poverty. And if I could describe one dominant frequency of my upbringing, is instability, chaos, violence, and a lot of addiction. So it was a very, very rocky journey. And the reason I'm sharing this with you guys right now is because all this very hostile environment encouraged me and pushed me toward going within and toward looking at developing resources, developing inner understanding, developing inner mastery, because external world did not support me in any way. There were no role models, there was no inheritance, there were no support in any way, right, you guys? So the reason I'm sharing this with you is because no matter the situation that you have right now, or the humble beginnings that you came from, it's all about the meaning that you assigned to the cards that have been dealt to you. I always say it doesn't matter what the cards have been dealt to you. It's all about learning the rules of the game that we call life and becoming the most incredible player, if we're using the metaphor of the game of life, right? You can't really control what kind of cards life will give you, but you can develop the skill and you can learn how to become incredible at the game that we call life. And it all starts from within, you guys, mastering the inner resources, mastering the inner mastery. And in the very, very, if I work at, doesn't matter what level I work with somebody, right? If it's a student, if it's a personal client, it doesn't matter. I start with, hey, do you have any mastery of your frequency? Do you understand the power of your personal vibration that can magnetize everything to you and can also repel everything to you? Let me see. Hi, you guys. So good to see so many people. Crystal Transparency says, yes, darling. You know what I mean? So once again, sometimes it's so easy to judge when you look at somebody. You know, you may think that they had an easier life and everything was given to them. And I believe my soul chose such a rocky journey for me that my entire life is a testimonial of what is possible if you begin to unlock the deeper spiritual power within. the deeper spiritual power, you guys. And I titled this video, Reactivate the Divine Human Immortal Blueprint. The Divine Human Immortal Blueprint. About 12 years ago, my awakening began, you guys. My journey to awakening and to remembrance of the divinity within began. And it all began, you know, in the behind closed doors, right? There was not many resources available, but it all began with me seeing this reality as matrix, number one. That was a huge awakening point. Here, guys. Hold on. Perfect. So maybe you guys can relate to this journey. First, my huge awakening was when I began to see this reality as matrix and not, you know, the movie Matrix. Only now, if you rewatch it now, you will see it in a completely different eyes. Every genius is always ahead of its time. So if you ever grew up feeling misunderstood by your peers, right? If you were drawn to people who are much older than you, like 2 generations older than you, let me know if you guys can resonate with that. It's because a true hallmark of genius, you're always ahead of your time, right? Or visionary mind is always ahead of its time. So I remember 12 years ago, I was in my house making a declaration to the universe, asking the universe a very bold request. I insisted on acceleration of my spiritual path and a full awakening of my DNA. Nobody knew about this, you guys, only me. Oh, recording is past. I thought I was recording this. I guess it's just gonna be like this. So you guys, I insisted and asked on acceleration of my spiritual path, full activation of my third eye, right? You guys know the third eye, your true inner vision, your true divine sight. If that is blocked, you cannot see anything beyond survival and beyond satisfaction of your desires. Survival and desire. So you can't constantly feed, you know, this survival nature, never feeling safe, no matter how much money you make, no matter how much influence you gather, no matter how much power you think you have, deep inside you're trembling in fear because you don't feel safe within. So you're stuck between a survival fears and the desire nature, right? Craving nature, never feeling satisfied, right? No matter amount of pleasure you give, no matter amount of distractions, the void within is so deep. So you guys, that the majority of people are stuck on the lower chakras, right? The first 3, they never go above, because to go above to the higher nature requires to awaken the sacred heart, to awaken the portal, right? The sacred heart, the heart chakra. And it's terrifying for a lot of people because when you awaken the heart, a lot of times, the first time when you awaken the heart, if through something very tragic, right, you guys? Either heartbreak or a loss or some kind of a natural shakeup. This is what happened to me when I was 28 years old. I had my very first heartbreak that just shattered me, you guys. And I was always drawn to spirit and I was always spiritual, but this was my very first face-to-face meeting with depression, right? Meeting with the darkness, meeting with the dark night of the soul. So usually the dark night of the soul is right before a massive awakening. Dark night of the soul, I didn't even know I'm gonna go there. Hi, you guys, what's going on? So fun to hang out with you guys here. I'm looking at your comments on my phone, and so I'm staying connected with you guys. Hello, beloveds, hello. Evening energy is different, right? It's a little bit different energy. I had matcha green tea latte, so I'm a little bit fired up. So you guys, let me kind of backtrack with you. Awakening the divine blueprint within that has the code of immortality with every human being. How is it possible that we've forgotten about this divine blueprint? Because humans are controlled and manipulated through their survival brain, you guys, right? So if I take you, imagine that, let's see, let me slow down so I can remember my train of thought. Most people are easily controlled and manipulated because they're stuck between survival fears and their desire nature, right, you guys? And it takes a radical quantum leap to transcend both and open your heart. When you open your heart, it's not an emotional part of you. That's part of the process. I'm talking about the sacred portal, your heart chakra. That is the door, that is the portal towards your higher nature. That requires surrender, that requires quantum leap. And it very often, dark night of the soul comes before your giant breakdown that leads to the breakthrough. So after your first dark night of the soul, you experience your first communion with your spirit, your first communion with your higher nature. You begin to rewire your understanding how the universe works. You begin to open up. You begin to do what? You become more capable to receive higher and higher frequencies because you're not blocking them. Right, you guys? So the ability to rapidly evolve depends on one thing, you guys, on many factors, but one of the key ones is the ability of your human vehicle, the ability to translate light. Light as a source of information that comes to us through the source consciousness. Some people call it God, some people call it goddess. For this live stream, I will say source consciousness. Source consciousness constantly streaming information and data and activation for us. But if our biocircuitry in our being is disconnected, we only been able to assimilate and integrate a tiny little fraction of it. A tiny little fraction of it, you guys. Our ability to evolve and to master this physical reality, to become master manifestors, to become masterful creators, experiencing this reality from our utmost potential, depends on our ability to assimilate, to accrete the divine light into our body. Hello, beautiful beings. Hello, beautiful beings. So there is a very, very high chance, darlings, I'm going to share with you a perspective for those of you who have the ears to understand. Some of you will get it, and some of because you've been prepared for this. And some of you I will plant a seed, and you won't be able to understand, but that's okay. The seed will be planted. There is a high probability that there is a reason why we only operate from a 1/5 of our brain capacity, right? The Russian scientist, my countrymen, who were really fascinated by, what the mainstream DNA science, genetic sciences call junk DNA. Russian scientists don't consider it junk DNA. They say it's a DNA that lays dormant and it requires to be activated by the resonant frequency. Listen to this closely, you guys. The DNA, the majority of our DNA, which I see as a cosmic library, the storage of information, the storage, the codes to our awakening, the codes to immortality, all lies within our DNA. The majority of it is dormant because it requires a catalytic alchemy, right? It requires the catalyst of resonant frequency for the alchemy to occur, for the DNA to come online. At least I warned you guys. At least I warned you that I'm gonna go deep with you. So out of all the perspectives available, what's really going on, you guys? And why are we so manipulated by the media, by the propaganda, by everything that's happening right now? Because as humans, we have overstimulated limbic system, right? Which is a survival part of the brain. And that survival part of the brain is so overstimulated by everything, media, wars, propaganda, news. That's why I don't have TV, you guys. I don't have TV for over 5 years. I don't have a cable for over 7 years. I consider that it's the worst thing for me to do is to infect my energy body with the propaganda and with, the media toxicity. If you still have a TV, I really encourage you to go on a sabbatical. Maybe I'm not going to ask you to throw it away just yet. Just go on a sabbatical. Give yourself a challenge for 3 months, to go on sabbatical from TV. But you guys, the collective, right, is being controlled and being locked in a dualistic paradigm by fear, right? That's why everything is designed to continue to overstimulate the limbic survival part of the brain of the human. And but the good news, you guys, the good news, right? Let me look at you here. The good news is that we have cerebral, it's called the cerebral, with my Russian accent, cerebral cortex. The cerebral cortex. Ancient Egyptians, ancient Greeks, Indians, all the major traditions that actually developed themselves in such incredible way and left so much art and history and culture and spiritual rich legacy. They were all sharing the same message that inside the body lies the key to our own liberation. Thank you, Harsh. Thank you. Cerebral cortex was known as the temple of remembrance. You guys write this down. Temple of remembrance. So we have the limbic system that is overstimulated and locks a human being into a paradigm of fear, survival, competition, dog eats dog. To counterbalance all that, we also have cerebral cortex, the temple of remembrance, through which is the doorway towards our original blueprint, original innocence. So inside every human being, there is a template. There's a divine template that is waiting to be activated, lays dormant. Michael says, I love your space. Thank you, guys. We have quite a lot of elements here. We have the fire, we have the earth, right? The crystal people, flowers, water. You guys ready to see some sacred geometry? Sacred geometry. This piece, who gave me this beautiful, this is an incredible activation structure, communication device. Yvonne de la Fleur gave me that as an incredible gift. I'm giving both of us, I'm giving us pauses to integrate what I share. I know for some of you guys it's going to be really heavy and really heady, and I'm intending to just bring lightness to it, right? To lightness. So darling, the main message, the reason why I'm so passionate sharing about energy and energy tools and energy mastery, and the step number 1 is for people to activate their energetic sovereignty, your ability to direct your energy, to use your frequency to create ripples of change in your own reality. What a beautiful vision to behold, to activate your temple of remembrance, to get in touch with the divine blueprint within. Everything is energy. That's right, you guys. So When you activate the divine blueprint within, the number one side effect is fear loses its power over you. You can get afraid for a few seconds, but you know that energy. You're like, oh, that's the old energy. You know, it's trying to suck me back into the old paradigm, right? I know the truth. I know that I am divine being on my perfect divine path. And I know how to redirect my vibration, how to recenter myself, and how to operate from the higher frequency. Transcendence of fear is not only probable, it's real, you guys. It's real. And when you transcend fear, what is possible for you to create? What is possible for you to create where you stop tolerating these low frequencies, right? Of fear, of survival, of competition, of suffering, all of that. It's always going to be available to you. You can always go back to it, right? You know, just for the experiment's sakes. I say, why not activate our highest potential? Why not? So everything is energy, she says. Absolutely, you guys. So one of the reasons that I encourage you to give yourself the time of solitude tomorrow is because with the full moon, you just feel amplification of everything. And still on our planet, there is a lot of people who are still looking for clarity, who are looking for, for awakening, for meaning in life. So they're going to feel even more chaotic. Their energies will feel more chaotic. So I encourage you to go within, reel your energy in, and be with your heart. And imagine that you can really let yourself dream tomorrow, you guys. Let yourself dream. What would your life look like if you were creating your life from a fully activated, divine, human blueprint within? The temple of remembrance. One of the reasons when you go to a temple, it doesn't matter what temple you go, you guys. I'm going to Egypt in October. I know I keep talking about it because I'm so excited. Honestly, you guys, it's a solo pilgrimage. I'm going alone, and it's literally a pilgrimage of remembrance for me. One of the ways that ancients would preserve their legacy and their lineage is through art, through the temple art. So the temple, any temple you go, right? Buddhist temple, Hindu temple, Egyptian temple, right? You guys, Gothic temple. Those temples are the structures, they're codes, okay? They're beautiful to look at, but they activate the memory of your soul through the shape, through the structure, through the geometry, because shape is the form of consciousness, right? Your soul has a very specific language. Your soul doesn't speak Russian or English or Persian or Indian. Your soul speaks in a different way. Your soul speaks through frequency, right? Through sound, through color, and frequency, sound, color, and shape, geometry. So one of the ways, Mandy says, I feel my love and appreciation for you. Yeah, you guys, I promised you to go galactic tonight, and we're going there. We're going there. One of the reasons why I utilize sacred geometry in my work is because when I utilize sacred geometry, it bypasses any belief systems. It bypasses dogma. It bypasses conditioning. It bypasses all of those mental weeds that block the message that is meant for the soul. And the soul recognizes and remembers the primordial language of light, which is, if we take entire existence to its original form, you guys, it's geometry. It's numbers and geometry. There is nothing else. If you take it all the way to the primordial form, geometry and numbers. So knowing that, why not to get curious about this beautiful futuristic, it's ancient and futuristic technology that we call sacred geometry, that we call sound, right? Why not use these tools to activate our remembrance and to activate our higher power? This is the reason, you guys, this is my big why of why I share programs, teachings, trainings, all designed on helping people understand, activate, and master their personal vibration. Because if that is lacking, it's a foundation is lacking, right? And simply by forcing your will on your reality, right? Or by hustling through your reality, that's not sustainable. Eventually you're gonna burn out. Eventually you realize you're using very primitive tools that are not a match to this next level vibration. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about genetic modification of our DNA, but I don't know, it feels like a little bit too late for that topic. Let me look at your comments, you guys. Is this topic interest to you or what, you guys? It's late, it's a different energy. Do you have any questions? It is my intention to leave the time for questions. One of the message, you guys, is the one that kind of feel the strong vibration in my body, because it's a bold message that can be easily misunderstood, but it's okay. I'm going to take that risk. And the risk is, you know, spreading this awareness. If I was in Russia right now, there is no way I would be able to share that message. And my soul, in its benevolence, literally brought me out of the country where I was born, right? So I can serve and share without limitations here. So one of the things that I wanted to share with you guys, if you felt like you've been unplugged from your true power as a sovereign being, to create, to manifest, to be the change maker that you feel in your heart you are here to be. If you felt that you've been disconnected from your true power, I can assure you that feeling was correct for you. There's a high probability, I'm gonna say that our DNA have been modified, right, genetically. There has been a disconnection of our biocircuitry. So there's 4 components for full activation of our divine blueprint. What is required, you guys? Like ingredients for the recipe. We're required our biocircuitry to be connected. Our 7 chakras, which is, you guys, chakras can be such a cliche topic in the New Age community that can be easily misunderstood. But if you really want to trace somebody's spiritual development, you got to trace the opening and functioning of their chakras. Chakras is like a map of your spiritual development. So a lot of people right now on our planet are working on the heart chakra, right? They just moved to the throat chakra, which is all about using the power of your word to command your reality, to become, it's like your words become spells, your words become commands. That's why when you open your heart chakra, you become curious about topic like conscious language. You realize the power of your words, right? So the spiritual development you can trace, if you can see energy, if you can read somebody's energetically. For me, you guys, it's so clear. When I spend time with somebody, I can tune into their energy body, and I can see they're working on the heart chakra right now, or they're working on the throat, they're working on the third eye, right? It's a map of your spiritual development. So what the next question is, how does our DNA being disconnected? How is it being genetically manipulated? Well, our biocircuitry disconnected is number one. Number two, our endocrine system is being is just complete mess, you guys, right? So, for example, I did this live stream a few months ago. How the fastest way to shut down your spiritual gifts is to begin taking ADHD meds. How many of you have seen that? Live stream, you guys? It was also very bold. And I was sharing my personal journey with those, with that medication. I was on them 5 years, you guys, 5 years. They were helpful when I was going through a point in my life of deep darkness. And I felt I was really struggling with, just struggling in my life. And I was diagnosed with ADHD, and I was given those meds, and they were helpful until they turned into addiction really fast and became a crutch, right? And what helped me to let go of them is this giant breakthrough I had one day when I realized they were shutting down my spiritual gifts. And then I had another big breakthrough. That's one of the ways our country is so overprescribed, right, with medication, is because it's the fastest way to control the collective, disconnect their biocircuitry, right, and shut down their endocrine system. How many people you know who have adrenal fatigue, who have thyroid problem? You look at the endocrine system, it's you guys, it's a triangle. It's, if you have problem with adrenals, you have problem with thyroid. If you have a thyroid problem, you have problem with adrenals. You cannot just separate one part of your endocrine system. You know, if it's screwed, it's going to be screwed everywhere. I see Don Marie. Yeah, you guys. Yeah, what Mandy says, I took antidepressants for 16 years. You see, you guys. Yeah, it's interesting. And once again, your oversoul, your higher self, will not allow it to happen for too long if you consciously make a decision and make a declaration to the universe. I am ready to activate my full potential. I am ready. I invite and accept the acceleration of my spiritual path. Then your higher self and your oversoul, in its benevolence, will help you to get off those drugs, you know, in a way that it's safe for you, right? So you don't like shock your nervous system. So you guys, but this is one of the ways we are being controlled and we are being locked in overstimulated limbic system, right? Overstimulated limbic system, like I was sharing before. And we're running on fear, we're running on cortisol, and we're locked in our first 3 survival chakras, right, you guys? Here you are. So this is one of the perspectives that I resonate the deepest, and I see a lot of I see resonance intuitively, but I also make sense logically for me, right? How does it work? Yeah. Slowing down to remember. One of the things about live streaming late, you guys, is it's easier for me to lose my train of thought. In the morning, I feel like I'm so much more sharp. But I'm just gonna surrender to it, you know, surrender to the moment. It's all perfect. So the main thing, you guys, I wanted to share with you is, you know, 11 years ago, I was opening myself up to a contact with different civilizations, right? We call them aliens, different bright beings, different beautiful divine beings who are communicating to me since very, very early age. And I just, I didn't know how to interact with them, but I was always curious. And I will never forget that. I planted that seed 12 years ago, right? And what I'm living now is the result of that innocence. Because in order for all of us to open ourselves up to living from the highest potential and opening ourselves up to this idea that, hey, I'm not a lost human in this chaotic universe. I am actually a transcendental, galactic, divine human being. If you just open yourself up to a possibility of that, and then you affirm that daily, right? Oh, Michael encourages me to keep going. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, you guys. So the very first step is to open yourself up to this bigger identity that is beyond your physical form. I'm gonna give you a soul declaration. If you just take away nothing but this, I can guarantee you, if you affirm it with all your heart, right? Because your words, right now, humanity is awakening to the power of the words. Every time I hear somebody say, I am broke, I just have like this shiver in my body, right? Because I see the person doesn't understand the power of what they're saying. Or I am low on funds, or I'm tight with finances, or it doesn't matter if it's your reality for this second. Don't submit to it. Don't submit to it with your language. Choose moment to moment to moment to moment your preferred reality. You guys, but the moment you say, I am broke, oh, you just locked yourself into a very limited paradigm, right? And you just submitted yourself to those who want you to stay in a fear-based reality. It's a time to take our power back. Maybe the first step you take, you guys, is to give yourself, not me, to give yourself a brave promise to never again call yourself broke. What a disrespect to the divine blueprint within. And you begin to celebrate every single example of abundance in your life, right? Every single example. One of my favorite channelers, Bashar. How many of you know Bashar? I love him so much. You got to be ready for him, right? So he said, and they're like, their civilization of evolved beings, a few evolutionary cycles ahead of us humans, right? And he was saying abundance from their definition of beings that are a few evolutionary cycle from us. They don't even have money. They transcended that paradigm, you guys, right? So that's what the advanced being consider abundance. He said, abundance, ability to do what you have to do when you need to do it. Ability to do what you would love to do when you need to do it. Abundance. So you commit to celebration of every example in your life that you are abundantly supplied, maybe just for today, but what you emitting to the universe, the field, the energy field that's around you, that you're interconnected to everything. What you are declaring is this beautiful celebration of life, and your inner knowing that life always provides for you every single time. Always provides for all of your needs. Maybe not all of your wants, but all of your needs are always met. And the reason of some of your wants are not met is because it's actually an inspiration for your soul to fully awaken and embody your soul gifts. everything was given to you, my God, have you guys seen human beings who inherit giant wealth when they come into this reality? Very few of them make something great out of themselves. Very few. The majority will turn out as what? Very lost and very confused people who had everything to start, but they lacked what? They lacked the inner fire to go after their highest potential and to wake up to the bigger reality of who they are. So honor your humble beginnings if you had those, and honor every difficulty that you have in your life as a cauldron of transformation that's been given to you. So, beloved beings, choose moment to moment your preferred reality. That's it. That's how I live my life, you guys. It doesn't mean that I never get afraid. I do. But what I discovered, you guys, is my ability to turn around that frequency, to alchemize it in the moment, right? To stay so connected to my truth that no amount of fear can frazzle me. And I stay connected to my truth, and I keep taking quantum leaps. And once again, you guys, my entire life is a testimonial that, you can come from a very, very humble beginnings, from a very tragic circumstances, very traumatic and all of that. I don't even want to feed that story anymore. But I think one of the reasons my soul chose that rocky path, so I could discover the power of spirit and discover the power of the true wealth that lays within your DNA, my DNA, and only waiting for activation that's available for you. So you guys, the genetic modification of our DNA, right? That's why, you can't really shake anybody to awakening. It only happens when a person, this is a little bit more, another perspective that's quite progressive. I'm not going to call it advanced. I'm going to say progressive. But one of the perspectives, you guys, is that awakening is programmed in our DNA. It is. It's like a ticking bomb. It's only a matter of time, right? A ticking bomb of greatness, explosion of your inner illumination. It's programmed in your DNA. It is the power of spirit. So the way you can honor another soul is not by, helping them to awaken, by simply living your life, living your truth, and walking your journey, walking your path with grace, and keep sharing your authentic message. I think that's voluntarily involves. That's right, Chris. Yeah, it's gonna happen, you guys. It's gonna happen. And the reason why I keep sharing about frequency and energy, it's because I don't know, you guys. I love this understanding of rapid evolution. I wrote, another exercise that I did is about what is my massive transformative purpose. I wanted to read you one paragraph. Maybe tomorrow when you do an exercise that I shared with you in the beginning of this video about what would your life, your business, and your leadership 2.0 version, what would it look like? And really challenge yourself to write, 3 pages on life, 3 pages on business, three pages on leadership. If you are in a leadership role in your life, not everybody is meant to be leaders. I disagree with this whole perspective. Everybody is a leader. That sounds nice. Leadership is something that is Sometimes you're thrown into leadership by the forces of Dharma. And true leadership training is you going through initiation of fire after initiation of fire to keep you humble, to keep that ego in check. And true leadership is a high-level responsibility in everything, in speech, in behavior, in discipline and practice. So yeah, you guys. So if you are in a leadership role, asking yourself, what is my life, leadership, and business 2.0 version look like? And really sitting with that. And I'm going to give you another exercise to do, you guys, for those of you who are ready, right? Those of you who will actually take this and implement, is to answer a very simple question. What is my massive transformative purpose? Massive is humanity-wise, you know, on the scale of humanity. What is my massive and transformative, lasting, positive change? This question goes to my my spirit sister, Hien. She is amazing. She asked me that question on Voxer. She voxed me one day. She says, sister, what is your massive transformative purpose? You know, you guys, and I really took it in. I spent a couple of days or 3 days. I would wake up and I would just write an answer to this question for 10 minutes. You put a timer and you let it flow and see what comes through, especially on the full moon, especially on the eclipse. See what comes through for you. Your purpose will evolve. Your purpose will change. That's why these exercises are so empowering, because you're able to see what your subconscious mind is channeling through it. So you guys, I wanted to share with you. Michael says, can you share a gene key we should focus on? Yeah, it's interesting that you said that, Michael. The gene keys of this week is 31, which is the shadow of arrogance, the gift of leadership, and the city of humility. It's funny, it's so synchronistic that you asked me that, because, you know, I just was sharing about leadership. So yeah, you guys, the arrogance, watch for the shadow of arrogance. I definitely caught myself in that shadow a few times this week. And, you know, you just catch yourself. Oh, wow. Thank God I see my own arrogance. What a gift it is. Most of the time, we don't see our own arrogance, right, you guys? We see other people's arrogance. That's very easy to see, but your own. So when you catch your own arrogance, wow, victory of the day. Because then you can sit with it. You can find the root of it, right? And you can alchemize it. You can work through that energy to unlock the gift, right? The gift. What a great gift for anybody in leadership position to see your own arrogance and catch it before it turns into a negative event or negative pattern. That's how I work with shadow frequencies, you guys. You know, ability to see with deep authenticity and deep courage. So my big transformative purpose is to assist humanity in birthing an evolutionary human, a new kind of human that has an open, awakened heart, who has a deep connection with the divine, who sees herself as a conscious creator, who knows and operates within 7 universal laws of creation, who unlocks the power of the inner alchemy and masters the 5 domains of life: mental, emotional, physical, domain of the will, and domain of spirit. A kind of human who sees interconnectedness of all and serves the whole. A human that knows how to communicate with nature, how to learn from nature, and how to respect nature. A human that is benevolent, who has a fully activated, divine, immortal blueprint. This is my massive transformative purpose, you guys. You know, and If I take it to a bigger scale, I wrote, in your true massive transformative purpose, when you really lean into it, you will feel not ready for it. And you will feel like, who am I to make myself available for this? And that's how you actually leaning into your horizon, So here's what I wrote, you guys. My massive transformative purpose is to assist 1 billion people in remembering the power of choice, the alchemy of transmutation, the power of conscious language, the power of living intentionally, the power of mastering the desire and the craving nature, the power of surrendering your ego to spirit, the power of reunion with your inner beloved, training in manifestation, conscious creation, the power of deep shadow work. Yeah. And I can go on and on. There's more pages. But you guys, I hope I inspired you to take that exercise and to actually do it tomorrow when all the events, cosmological events, everything is happening. And I'm also here to remind you that tomorrow is the last day for the early bird for the frequency shift training that I'm leading on Sunday. So you guys, I call it the fundamentals, frequency shift fundamentals, and it's a foundation, right? I'm going to teach the foundational tools and principles, but it doesn't mean it's basic. There is nothing basic about that process. The tools that we're going to use is sacred geometry to activate the divine blueprint, the power of alchemical ceremony. You just got to experience that. It's very hard to explain. It's experience-based process. And it's all designed to reconnect biocircuitry, to reconnect the dormant blueprint in a human hologram. This is what this course is about. And I am kind of like, and I see myself like an emissary for the power of frequency. And it's my commitment and devotion to support people on a level of frequency. Because once you activate that, you transcend fear, you guys. Once you transcend fear, you tap into your creative potential. If fear has a grip on you, you remain in survival. The moment you transcend fear, you begin to create from the place of limitless, from the place of knowing your truth. And this is what I desire to support every person who chooses that for themselves. Once again, you guys, the reason why this course is not free is because people only value what they pay for, and they pay for what they value. I make this course very accessible. Pretty much anybody can join, anybody could afford. If you live in the United States, right? If you live somewhere else, let's say, because I know there's people who are from India, there's people from, you guys, every class I teach, I have some students pro bono. First time I'm actually sharing this publicly. I reserve a few spots for people who, due to circumstances, they really in such weak economical situation they can't afford. And I create the space for pro bono students. I can take one more pro bono student. Write to me, why do you feel called for this program and what is your specific situation? I give preference to people from a third world country because I grew up in Russia. I know how that is and the level of economical situation that is. So if you are from the United States, I probably will not consider you because I already gave a spot to somebody from US. So somebody from third world country, if you feel called to this program, write to me and I will be happy to review what you write. All right, you guys, I love you very much. This is my last invitation for the frequency shift live training that we're going to start on Sunday, because tomorrow I'm going into solitude. And if you would like to go deep and galactic and really transform, it's all process-based, it's ritual-based. You're gonna have activation, alchemical ceremonies to really activate the divine blueprint within. So you stabilize the fifth dimensional frequency that's already here. You guys, I just see so much potential in that. You know, once again, I operate from fifth dimension and I stabilize that frequency more and more and more. You guys, I don't create how even I was creating even a year ago. It's a day and night. It's a day and night. And I continue to expand my capacity to receive even more bliss, to operate from even more higher vibration. Once again, it doesn't mean that I don't get afraid at times. My gap of when I feel the fear and I turn it into power becomes very, very small. And that's what I would love to share with those of you who recognize this as a call for them, is your ability to transcend and alchemize fear. Once you do that, what you liberate? You liberate creative power. You begin to play with creation. You begin to see yourself as a part of this play of consciousness, seeking feedback. All right. I think that's good to stop right now. I love you guys. I love you guys. God bless you. I hope you took something from it. And if some of you will just take an exercise and script your life, pay attention to the words you speak, because they're becoming either commands of your reality or curses of your reality. Become very vigilant of your language. Even the voice that you speak, you know, in your head, but especially the one that you speak out loud. And hold the vision of yourself as the divine, immortal, human, galactic, transcendental being that reestablishing the connection with the central source consciousness right now and remembers his or her power with every single day. That's what awakening is all about, you guys. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your presence. I believe that's it. I feel complete. I love you guys. Those of you who are in my class, I will see you on Sunday. And those of you who would like to join this train of transformation, you guys just click on my banner, Facebook banner, click on it. You will see the link to learn or to join the class. And I'll put some links under this live stream as well. But anyway, stay blessed, spend time in solitude tomorrow, and I'll see you guys probably on Sunday. Mwah. Bless you.